Welcome, everybody. Am I live here? Uh, Welcome to the September energy forecast. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to be sharing this out to my page. If you are catching me live or on the replay, comment below, say hi, let me know you're here. I love knowing who's with me, who's watching. If you're listening to this on my YouTube channel or you're listening to this on a podcast, then pop in, say hi, tag some friends so people can see this. Hello, James. Yay, I love that you guys are finding me. And I feel like, my forecasts are one of my favorite times of the month. A chance where we get to sit down, hang out, spend some time together, tap into the energies, and just set our own center to work with the energy as it's going to unfold. I find for me, when I go through it, and I'm pointing down because this is what my calendar looks like when I do a forecast, I scribble and circle and highlight and put notes everywhere. This is one of the most centering and grounding practices I have to prepare myself for the month ahead. And I want to share a few little tips that you can use to make the most of this. Yay! I see you guys all coming in. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Kim. Hello, Famina. I love you guys, and I'm so happy you're here. So the first thing I want to invite you to do is I want you to think about, what do I want in September? Okay? This is not about the universal energy telling you what you can and can't have. This is not about the universal energy giving you a permission slip to have it or not have it. This is about you deciding, what is my priority? What do I want? What am I creating? What am I manifesting? And being that we're in this 8 energy year, this decision that you have, the option to make is more important than ever. And I will hold space for your manifestations and your intentions if you want to pop them in the chat, if you want to just write them in your book, because I want you to have those be the lens through which you perceive this information. I want you to co-create with your own intuition. Okay? So, a couple things. This September is peak energy. Okay? Before I dive into this, tag some friends so that they can come and watch this too. Share it out on your page or your stories so that more people can see this. I do these detailed forecasts completely free because I think numerology should be a universal language. We should all get to have, it's like the cheat codes to the universe. We should all get access to this. I know a lot of people feel like September's fresh start energy. And there's a reason why, because September is the 9th month, right? And so September is always going to mirror to us the energy of the year. So every single year, it's going to contain this high peak energy, which is going to be, indicative of our experiences throughout the year. Now, with the 8, it's all about this idea of luck. What's that expression? If anyone knows it, pop it in the chat. But luck is something like preparation meeting opportunity. I want to add to that, it's like preparation and momentum and all of the little invisible action steps you've taken. Whenever people come to me and they're like, oh, quantum leaps and this and that, I've done a podcast on this, so if you want more information on it, you should go check it out. But quantum leaps, in my opinion, are pretty much always the result of having done lots of little invisible steps that showed nothing, right? Little teeny invisible actions that showed nothing. And that's why I often refer to the 8 as the energy of compound interest, the law of compound interest, right? So, you put a penny and you put a penny and you put a penny in and you don't notice anything. And then all of a sudden one day you see this snowball of activity, of growth, of results. And this is the 8 energy for you. September is an 8 energy month. It mirrors the energy of the year. So much of what you've been doing all year is going to start to become clear, obvious. You're going to start to get that like beautiful feedback loop that feels so good to receive of like, okay, I'm on the right track. But here's what I really want you to take to heart. The universe is not going to tell you that you're doing a good job or a bad job, or that you're a, and maybe let me back that up a little bit. We all want to look for a sign, right? We all want the universe to tell us that we're on the right track. The thing is, the more down your path that you go, the universe will give you signs, but they're co-created. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a result of you being like, okay, I'm choosing this. Universe, let's do this together. Let's work together. Let's co-create together. You take action in that supported energy, and then you start to see the results. So was it the universe, or was it you? Or was it both of you co-creating together? So this is super important. Yeah, absolutely, James. The more I practice, the luckier I get. And that is like 8 energy in a nutshell, right? In a nutshell. 8 energy is also going to be reminding us that there is like this mastery energy. There is this like value in the commitment, okay? And the value in the commitment is going to become super obvious. Okay, I need to pause. I know I'm live. Bear with me. I don't know if you guys can hear the dog in the background. He's stuck. I need to let him unstuck himself. I'll be right back. 1 second. Thank you for being patient with me while I'm doing all the things with the children running around, distracting the dog getting stuck. Oh my gosh, I don't know. For any other working parents on here, I am feeling relief about September and back to school because I feel like I juggle all the things during summer. Anyways, okay, let's get back to it. So it's the result of the energy that you've been putting into things, like clicking in. Okay, and seeing the impact. Now, the other thing about the 8 is this idea of the unglamorous work, the work behind the scenes, the work at the desk that nobody notices, the studying late nights, the, making decisions that are sometimes hard trade-off decisions of like, I'm going to choose to work on my business and accept that I can't, do something on the weekend, or I'm going to choose to go back to school and study something. And that means I'm going to have less social time. Some of those hard decisions that you make because you have this big goal, this big vision. This is the energy of the 8, right? This is okay, go lie down. This is the energy of the 8. Go lie down. Good boy. Good dog. So yeah, commitment, responsibility, choice, being clear on your vision and choosing to tap into it, right? Being clear on your vision and choosing to tap into it. It's a month for, it's a month for creating. It's a month where all of your, hard work starts to pay off for you. Now, I am speaking to the high side of the 8. Okay, I'm speaking to the high side of the 8. There's definite low sides and challenges. I'm not saying it's all going to be sunshines and rainbows and butterflies. I personally like to focus on the high side, because that's what I want to create more of. But some of the challenges are things like imposter syndrome, doubting your path and like questioning, should you change course mid-direction, questioning whether you're good enough or you're worthy enough or you're skilled enough or experienced enough or you deserve it, right? And some of these beliefs or questions, they're not conscious, right? I'm pretty sure no one's walking around outside being like, I'm not worthy of my vision. No, they're like deep-seated fears and discomforts, and you're not consciously necessarily tapped into them. Some of you might be, but I would say for the most part, no one consciously believes they're unworthy, right? So yes, Adrienne, I'm working on my launch for my 8-week dating course. This is a great time to like open the doors to something. I'm also launching and promoting in September. If you are a business owner or you have things to sell, things to share, things to offer other people, September is a great time to show the skill and the expertise that you have behind your work, right? The dedication and the hours and the, be proud of that. Be proud of that. And I think where we get tripped up with the 8 is we think we need to be the best. No. You need to be the realist, the most in integrity, the most authentic, the most connected to your truth and your energy. You don't need to help every single person. You need to help the people who you are meant to help, who can relate to you, who can be served by what you have to share, what you have to offer, what you have to gift. And every single one of us has magic that way. And if you don't know what yours is, send me a DM, okay? I will help you. I'm actually, a couple of days ago, I put out an offer to do some free little mini intuitive business assessments for you. And you fill out this little Google form, and then I send you a 5-minute voice note giving you, your biggest challenge and your biggest opportunity that I see in your business. And I've had dozens of you fill it out. So I have a space for a few more. If you're one that wants one, send me a DM and I'll send it to you. It's totally free, no obligation. But I don't want anyone letting their own self-doubts and insecurities stop them from moving forward in this beautiful 8 energy momentum month. 8 is also often associated with abundance and, flow of money and wealth. And it's because of the infinity sign, right? When you flip the 8 on its side, it's an infinity sign. And that to me is nod to the divine law of compensation. And if you haven't read the book, The Divine Law of Compensation by Marianne Williamson, highly recommend. It's one of my favorite books. But basically the gist of it is that we are here to co-create and both give and receive of our energetic gifts. Okay. We are here to both share our mastery from our heart, from our soul's gifts, and receive from others. Okay. And it's not a 1-for-1 tit for tat situation. No, it's an energetic equilibrium and balance that balances out collectively. Okay. And if you are holding back, not sharing, you're interrupting the flow of the divine law of compensation, and you're interrupting the flow of that infinity sign, right? That wants to create abundance and wealth in your life. Now, we talked a lot about this in Healing Currency, which is a on-demand program I offer. I just delivered it live in July, which is all about healing your money trauma. There's lots of reasons why we inadvertently block money, or money's unsafe, or wealth is unsafe, or our definition of abundance is dangerous and unsafe. And so we unpack that in Healing Currency. And if you've ever felt like you've got some money trauma or some twisted and uncomfortable relationships around money because of history, past stories, past lives, financial abuse in your past, extreme financial challenges in your childhood, that is what this program is for. So it's also for people who are just why do I keep bumping up against an income ceiling, right? If you keep bumping up against an income ceiling, there could be some issues around your relationship with money at play. So side note, but it's important to recognize that, because the shadow of the 8 in September is going to illuminate some of that stuff to you if you haven't dealt with it. And it's not to hurt you, to punish you, or to give you a sign that you're going in the wrong direction. That's why I started talking about signs the way I did a few minutes ago. The universe isn't trying to hurt you or punish you or tell you you're wrong or bad. The universe is pointing out where there's opportunities for growth and healing, right? And so if these challenges come up, you get to look at them and get to choose. Is this something I want to navigate, work through, heal, and overcome? Or is this something where I'm nope, peace out. I don't choose this right now. I don't want this right now. That's okay. It's your free choice, your free will. You get to back away and do something different. But the universe is never bossy. It's never going to tell you what to do. Okay? Yeah. And Adrian's saying I'm working with my own divine timing cycle as well. And that's exactly it. You all have a universal pattern you're dealing with. We all have one. It's the one I'm talking about specifically on this call. But we all have our individual patterns and cycles as well, your individual energetic patterns. So you might know what those are if you're a numerologist, or you might consult with a numerologist and get readings done. If you would like details, reach out to me. I can definitely give you a personalized reading, or reach out to one of the incredible numerologists. There's so many around that are just brilliant. I'm always struggling with money, but I found it in my tattoos, right? It's so true. Like, usually we can think of a thing that money never seems to stop us from having, even though we think money's stopping us from having other things. So it's like, what's happening here? I can guarantee you your money is not bossing you around that way. That's you. That's on you. I mean, me included, right? That's on our own selves. Okay, where do I want to go next around the 8 energy? If you guys are having any questions as you're listening, pop them in the chat. If you're listening on my podcast, DM me on Instagram and I'll send you a little voice note, okay? So let's take a look at this here. Baby steps adding up, evidence adding up, where you can start to see and feel the results and feeling just like your preparation is meeting its time. There's kind of 3 flows that will be happening throughout the month. In the beginning of the month, it's all about worthiness. Are you going to choose and decide that you are worthy of the vision you have? Do you believe that you can have it? Or does it? And here's a way to do it. Okay. So remember in the beginning of the call, I was like, pick a goal. I want you to bring that goal to mind right now. And when you bring that goal to mind right now, I want you to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is my level of belief that this will be true? Okay? Write the number down. And then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to start to play with timing a little bit. If you had to hedge and guess, when is it going to be true? Is it next year? 5 years? Next month? Next week? Play with the timing a little bit. Because if the thing feels really far out, there is likely an element of worthiness that needs to be worked on around that goal. Okay? Try that on for size. It may or may not be true for you, but I invite you just to get curious. Could that be true for me? And see what comes up for you. The second flow of the month is the next step of, are you willing to plan and strategize for your success? So if I'm like, okay, my goal is, I'm launching something. My goal is I want to make a certain amount of money in my business. I'm going to create a new product. I want to speak on a stage, whatever it is. I'm listing some of the things that I have going on, some of the things that some of my clients have been asking about lately. Okay, so you have the thing. You don't get to keep walking through life now the same, right? If you truly want that thing, it's like, okay, I want to speak on a stage. So what's next? Am I comfortable speaking? Maybe I sign up for a Toastmasters. Maybe I start doing Facebook Lives. Maybe I take some speaking training. Maybe I see if I can get on some small local stages. Maybe I apply for a TEDx. Like, that's the strategy and the planning and the thinking it through. Because that comes to shape your identity, right? If you want to be speaking on a stage, you eventually need to have the identity of I'm a speaker, or I'm a professional speaker, I'm a paid speaker, whatever identity you want to claim. Well, how do you get that identity? You strategize for it, and then you take action for it. And so that's the second part of the month. The third part of the month is really about allowing yourself to feel the love, the passion, the fire, and the inspiration around you and your vision, as well as the people and the community that you get to co-create this with. None of us are islands. This whole hyper-independence trope that's been sold to us for a long time is not good. We thrive in community. We thrive when we share resources, when we connect with each other, when we support each other, when we have our backs. We regulate in community. That's why the term is co-regulation. And we grow and we get inspired in community. So can you let yourself experience that? Right? Hyper isolation can be a trauma response or, a reaction from having gone through some very difficult things in your life. So we're working on healing that and letting yourself get excited, letting yourself have passion, letting yourself do stuff and share your crazy ideas with friends and be witnessed in it and witness others in it and celebrate them in it so that you can feel celebrated in it All of these things are core energies that are going to be really important for the end of the month. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Let's go into some of the more specific dates. All right. So, oh goodness. It's really hard to believe what's happening that it's September. I just did my forecast for Kelowna 10, which is the media app that I do forecasting on. And both of us were like, what is even happening here? When we move into September, there is going to be this sense of what are the pieces in my life, whether it's stories or people, relationships, that I'm going to need to let go of in order to choose my own worthiness. Now, what came up for me when I tapped into this was self-trust, and where do you not trust yourself? And I really invite you to sit with that question for a minute. Where do I trust myself, and where do I not trust myself? Where have I potentially made mistakes in the past that I'm like holding against myself, or judging myself for, or feeling guilty over, or shaming myself for? And it could be something like, oh, in my 20s, I racked up some credit card debt, so I don't trust myself with money. Or, oh, in a relationship, I, did the wrong thing, or, had a bad experience, and now I don't trust myself to make a good choice when it comes to relationships. Or, I did something in my business and it flopped. It didn't create the results I wanted. And now I don't trust myself to sell, to launch, to help customers, whatever. Okay. So this is the question I want you to ask yourself. Where have you done something? I'm going to say make a mistake, but I don't really believe in mistakes. Where have you had an experience that you experienced guilt and shame and judgment of yourself over, and lack of trust with yourself? I want you to write that down. This is something that you're going to need to come to terms with. And I'm like, going to need to do what you want to do, right? I'm assuming you're here because you're like, I would like to resolve and heal this. You can be like, nope, that's getting locked in the vault. Fair enough, right? But should you want to move through some of these challenges, ask yourself that question. And then the second question is to say to yourself, how can I establish trust with myself? And trust is established in baby steps through experiences when we start to see that words and actions align with ourselves, right? I mean, with other people too, but self-trust is with ourselves. So if I need to build trust with myself, and let's say I need to build trust with myself around money, sure, I can pick actions and words that align around money, but that might be hard and uncomfortable. So let me just pick it somewhere else. Maybe I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to focus on building my self-trust in, physical activity. And I'm going to commit, telling myself, making a promise and a commitment to myself that I'm going to hit my 10,000 steps a day, right? And the next step is to actually do it, to actually do the thing, right? To actually do the thing I committed to doing. And the more you do that, the more you build self-trust. And that self-trust will leak into other areas of your life. So if you have integrity with yourself in one area, you can use that to prop up integrity with yourself in another area. And the more I trust myself, let's say with my steps, then the easier it's going to be to trust myself in business and with money, right? Or whichever area you experience a lot of difficulty around. So that's going to be something that I highly recommend you experience in the beginning of September, is playing with that little trust exercise. Going into the second of the month, it's going to be about raising your standards. You're going to recognize where you have been settling for breadcrumbs in your life, whether it's with yourself, with others, with your business, with money. It can be anywhere. Where you have been accepting low standards, and you're going to see it and it's going to be obvious, and you're going to be like, forget this. I'm over this. This is the current standard of my life. And the only way you get to raise a standard like that is to just meet it for yourself. Okay? It's not that hard. Just meet it for yourself. Once you meet it for yourself, you will start to see that it's actually quite doable to be met in other arenas, because everything else becomes a mirror and a reflection of your relationship with God and universe and self, right? Okay. I make it sound so easy. I know it's not that easy. It's not that easy for me either, but it's also not that complicated, right? And sometimes we overcomplicate things. So sometimes, like, let me chunk it down and simplify it can be super helpful. Okay. The 6th of September is a really cool energy with these double fives. And it's asking for change, freedom, exploration, shaking things up, a new pattern, doing something totally different. Go on a road trip, take a different route, try a different restaurant, eat different food, talk to different people. If you are doing something with work, launch a different product, position it in a different way, market it in a different way, use different channels. Like if you always promote things in this way, try a different way. Like just switch it up. This is the energy of like taking that snow globe and shaking it and letting the pieces fall where they may and just seeing what happens. There's also this strong pull to explore your inner child this date, the 6th of September. So do the thing that brings you joy and playfulness. Go and slide on the slide, swing on the swing. It's the 6th of September, has this double five energy to it. Okay. So, yeah. Like you're making me question myself. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, it does. I had to do the math again. People think that if you're good with numbers, you're good at like adding and subtracting in your head. And sometimes I am, but sometimes I'm still like, you know, the finger tricks. Okay. So inner child, freedom, explore, shake things up. If you are calling in a change, that is a great day to activate a change. Make the change from the place of expanding the standards like you were meant to do on the 2nd, right? The higher standards. Then on the 9th of the month, I really love the energy of the 9th of the month. It's a great day to sell, promote, and market things. If you have a proposal to submit, if you have anything tied to money and finances, it's a great time to take action on it, allowing yourself to be seen as an expert. So position yourself in the light of an expert and take action on expanding money and finances and wealth on the 9th of the month. So that might even mean something like having a bank appointment or an accountant appointment. Like there's lots of different things that can play out here, but let yourself take action from that place. Okay. From there, where do I want to go next? The 12th of the month, actually the 11th, let's speak to the 11th and the 12th. The 11th, I'm like, and the 10th. There's so many really important days coming up here. So the 11th of the month is going to be this energy of thought leader and sharing your expertise and your wisdom. So let yourself take action on speaking what you know to be true. And a lot of people think thought leader and expertise and wisdom like, oh, I need to have like degrees and la la la. No, you don't. You need to be connected to your truth and you need to be willing to share it. That's what you need. And, you know, there is this energy of like, you know, life experience, school and education, and knowing. And all of these are valuable ways to become a thought leader. So we don't need to create hierarchy around that. We can receive and select based on our own, you know, gut feeling and intuition and resonance with the wisdom as to what aligns with us and what doesn't. And this is an important shift that we're making from the, you know, scarcity economy into the abundance economy. The scarcity economy has like hierarchy of like, this is better than that. And there's a lot of comparison and judgment embedded in those beliefs, right? Whereas the abundance economy, it's like we collaborate with our wisdom. One is not better than the other. The hierarchy is gone and instead it's a circle, right? Where we sit together in a circle and we all have input and there's conversation that flows out of it. And so these are important distinctions to be made as we're moving more and more into this energy of the abundance economy. And individually, some people are like fully locked and loaded on that and they're good to go. Other people are dancing back and forth between them. And I think that's probably the majority of us because the collective weight of scarcity is intense. And so you might feel yourself being like, okay, I'm in the abundance economy for a bit and it feels great. And then, boom, I'm going to get pulled back a bit. and I notice and I have awareness and I shift and then I go forward a bit into the abundance economy, and then, it's a dance, and that's okay, right? That's okay. That's how we learn, and that's how we integrate. The 13th of the month is self-expression. So let yourself speak, let yourself say, do not hold back, right? Open throat chakras, say the thing that's on your heart and mind to say. I've talked about this before on these calls, but some people are like, well, how? If I have to say something that's scary, that's vulnerable, that's risky, how do I say it? And one of my favorite things to do is to use Brene Brown's line, which is the story I'm telling myself is, right? The story I'm telling myself is. And that's like, this could be wrong. I'm going to say something risky. You can tell me I'm totally off base, but I need to say it anyways, right? So the story I'm telling myself is, and it allows me to say what's on my heart and mind without blaming. And it instantly disarms the other person. So try it on for size, particularly around the 13th, because you need to speak your mind, okay? So where else do I want to go with that? Outdated belief systems falling away on the 15th of the month. So if you are someone who is bringing forth new ideas and would like to introduce new ideas to other people, doing so on the 14th, the 15th, the 16th is very much auspicious and highlighted. People are eager and hungry to have, new ideas in their field so that they can try them on and be like, is that true for me, relevant for me? Does this make sense for me, right? Let yourself experiment with that. Okay. The 17th of the month. I freaking love the 17th, you guys. It's going to be such a good day. 17th of the month is a full moon, 7 energy day, 7 of clubs day with the 8 energy month and the 8 energy year. So what that tells me is anyone who is remotely tapped into their intuition, their magic, esoteric arts, the energetic realm, the unseen, whatever you want to call it, quantum physics, on the 17th, you will have some mysteries revealed to you. And so what I intend to do is to create some ceremony for myself, to do some meditation, to really tap in with that energy that I have with myself and with my guidance system. So I'm open to receive those ideas that want to flow to me. So it's a great day if you hold circles or spaces to hold space for others. Also allow yourself to hold space for yourself, because I'm like, ooh, there's some good mysteries coming through on the 17th. Kim, your birthday is on the 14th. I love that for you. So you're the 10 of clubs. This is just like, you have this like beautiful success available to you with the way you think and communicate. You are a very successful communicator. And on the 14th in particular, there's this energy of like stabilizing foundations and leadership with what you want to communicate. So it's a great time to be seen as an expert, to be seen as a thought leader, to share your wisdom, and to let yourself be seen in that expertise that you have in whichever way, whatever field that you want to take that into. I will be teaching some workshops starting on the 18th, and I'm super excited about this, you guys. I have been working behind the scenes on this training called the Abundant Business Method. And you guys have heard me talk about bits and pieces of this. I've been doing business training for many years now, but this is me incorporating the concepts of the abundance economy into solo entrepreneurship, and really following a simple, straightforward process. Like it's very like step 1, step 2, step 3, called the Abundant Business Method. And I'm going to be doing some free training. So if you guys want access, sign up to make sure that you get access for it on the 18th, the 20th, and the 23rd. And I'm going to be talking a lot about where we might be blocking our abundance through misunderstanding the energetics, and then how to get the energetics right. And once you get the energetics right, how to take the strategic actions and create the business plan from those correct energetics. So that's what I'm going to be teaching. It's going to be totally free. One of the things that's come up to me so loudly is how it's a trauma response past life pain, inherited difficulty to not be able to receive support. Okay. And this is because specifically especially if you're a woman in business, you have felt sense in your bones of what it feels like to not receive support in business when your grandma couldn't have a bank account. Potentially even your mother couldn't own property or have a credit card in her name or needed a co-signer to make business decisions. So being that you have a felt sense of your grandma's experience because you were once an egg in the fetus of your mother in the belly of your grandma, when your grandma experienced these struggles around being able to share her gifts and share her work, you felt that. You felt that. You also likely have some past life imprints around that. And so how we've protected ourselves is we're like, I'm going to hide. I'm going to play small. I don't want to be too loud and too noticeable because I don't want anyone to like pick me apart or criticize me because I could be taken down. So I'm not going to receive support because asking for support means asking for attention on me, and I'm not going to do it. And so we've actually blocked ourselves from support that's free and highly available. And I've created some free guides and resources. One of the most exciting ones I've done is I have spent 6 months training ChatGPT to support me in my business, to be what I call my unpaid intern. And it's gold, you guys. The level of support I receive in my business from chat is off the charts. So I created a free guide because I'm like, everyone deserves to have this. It's super straightforward. You know how sometimes you're like, how do I explain what I do? When I have to stand up in a room at a networking group and everyone's like, oh, I'm so-and-so and I do this. And you like freeze because you're like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Well, chat will help you with that. And I have created the exact prompt. So it's in your language, in your wording, resonates with your ideal clients. If you're like, oh, I want to, promote my Reiki training, or I want to promote this healing I offer, or this coaching, or this service I offer, but I don't know how to describe it. How do I distill all of this magic into like 3 bullet points that will capture the attention of my ideal client? I have trained ChatGPT to do it for you in your language, in your words, and you guys, it's cool. So anyways, I'm obsessed with this, which is why I've created the free guide. If you want the free guide, put ChatGPT free guide in the comments so I can send you the link to download it. It's totally free. And I want everyone to be able to be fully expressed in sharing their work, right? In using your voice. You deserve that. Okay, so I've got the free trainings coming up. I've got the guide I want to share with you. If you are interested in the trainings, write trainings. If you're interested in the guide, write guide. Let's see where else I want to go. The 20th of the month. This is a new manifestation cycle that's going to be about creating stability in your work. Okay? Stability and foundation in your thoughts and your beliefs so that you can, whatever you want to do, right? Your goal. The whole reason you're listening to this call in the first place. So getting some clarity around your vision is going to be super, super helpful, particularly around the 20th of the month. Then moving forward on, let's say the 24th of the month, we're going to be activating that energy of collaboration in community. And the thing is with that, when we are integrating and interacting and collaborating with other people, there's always this sense of you have an opportunity for growth, which is why sometimes it's uncomfortable. So you might experience these triggers coming up where you're like, ooh, I don't like how this felt, or oh, that was sticky. And particularly around the 28th, you're going to have an opportunity to cleanse and detox some of these unhealthy relationship patterns in your life so that you can more powerfully and capably relate with others. It's going to be so important for you and super, super helpful. If you are struggling with relationships around that point in time, I highly recommend reaching out to somebody who can support you. You can reach out to me, or if you've got a trusted practitioner or a therapist or guide or coach or energy worker, that's a great time to do that, to just take off some of the rough edges, right? You're still going to have to do the lessons and the work and the learnings, but they can hold space for you and also help ease the transition of the energy. And that's going to be really powerful. So sometimes a numerology forecast can do that. Sometimes you need energy work, whatever. You'll know what's right for you. You can trust yourself to know that. And then And then we go to the 20, I'm just checking to see if there's any other dates I want to speak to. Yeah, we really wrap up the month with this energy of trusting a level of unconditional love. Unconditional love is tricky. I'm not necessarily going to say it's the gold standard, because having standards is okay and good, and boundaries is okay and good. More so, I want to think about it from the perspective of our relationship with ourselves, right? And this kind of goes back to that self-trust thing. If when you trip, stumble, make a mistake, mess things up, do you love yourself unconditionally even in your ugly parts? Do you trust yourself unconditionally even when things are maybe not perfect? Do you let yourself have the bad day, but like with a sense of love towards yourself, of like, it's okay, baby. You can rest. You can take it easy. Have an off day. That's allowed. You'll bounce back. I know you will. I love you. I trust you. And I believe in you. Like, are you able to have those kinds of conversations with yourself? And my belief, try this on, see if it fits for you, is that the people who struggle to have that level of self-care for themselves, it's because they don't feel that from the universe, which, if you go down that rabbit hole, means you've also probably never felt that from your primary caregivers to the degree that you truly deserve to feel it, right? So in a sense, it's a little bit about reparenting ourselves, right? About holding ourselves, loving ourselves, caring for ourselves, reprogramming a sense of stability with ourselves, because the world around us is going through a lot of change right now, a lot of change, a lot of confusion. And when that's happening, going within and honoring that relationship with yourself is one of the best things that you can do, right? And of course, having a safe community to be seen, heard, and witnessed in all of it. But it's both. You can more easily find a community that loves you when you believe you're lovable and you're willing to let yourself be loved, right? So that is my message for September, which who knew we would end up on this like note of self-love, talking about the 8, because the 8 is often known as the like boss, CEO, get it done, make it happen energy, abundant and powerful. And it is all of those things. But let me tell you this, the people who activate that energy from a place of, I'm not good enough, so I need this outcome to prove my worth, they will be in pain. Whereas the people who do it from the place of, this is fun, I love myself, this is an awesome experiment, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next, whether I fail or succeed, I still have my own back, it's a different thing. It might look the same from the outside, you know, from an observer, you can't tell necessarily. I mean, obviously, if you're highly attuned to the energy, you might be able to pick up some flags, but you can't always tell if the person is being driven from a place of self-love or self-loathing. And so let's be the driven, accomplished, powerful, capable people driven from a place of self-love, because that is going to spiral and ripple out in the rest of your life in so many places to serve you in so many ways. Okay. I feel like I rambled and rambled and rambled, and that was a long forecast, even for me. So I am so grateful that you're here with me. I really want to know, what was your number one takeaway? What did you get out of this call? What are you taking away from this? Second, please share this out. Tag some people, share it on your page or in your stories. People need this information, because this is like cheat codes to the universe, right? These are cheat codes to the universe. So let's let them be freely available, right? Let's make it easy for us to have this level of support in our lives. Okay. I am sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the free training I've got coming up. Did I tell you what it's called? It's called Overwhelm to Overflow, the 3 scarcity traps that are pushing you away from the abundance that's available to you. So I'm super excited about that. And then, so if you want that, put trainings. And if you want my little guide that I've got coming up, put guide. And like I said, I have a couple more business assessments that are free that I will share with you if you would like one. So DM me for that. And I really look forward to hearing your takeaways and your lessons from today's call. I am sending you so much love, and we'll see you on the next one. Mwah. Bye, everyone.